So, good morning students. So, welcome to business studies class. So, we are in the 11th chapter. So, last chapter international business. Okay. So, today's concept export procedure. So, here we have the two major concepts, export and import. Export means what? Selling goods to the another country. Import means buying goods from another country. So, in internal trade we use the word buying and selling, but in the international business we use the word of export and import. Here not just a buying and selling of goods. What is the exporting and importing? It's a activity between two frontiers, two different countries, or between two geographical boundary. That's what we call export and import. That's why I said it's not a merely buying and selling of product. Here we have 17 steps, 17 procedure, 17 steps under export procedure. Here you have the 17 steps. We should follow all the 17 steps for export or our product. So otherwise we can't sell our product to another country, we can't export it. That's the reason we have to follow all the 17 steps under export procedure, then only we can sell it our product to the foreign country. So here we have the 17 procedures. First one, receipt of inquiry and sending quotation. So first of all, a prospective buyer, here prospective buyer means prospective importer. Okay, so he sends some what you call inquiry letter to all the exporters who are in the export duty or in the export activity. The prospective buyer or the importer, he sends all the inquiry to the different exporters. That's what we call the receipt of inquiry. Now, the exporter, he receives the inquiry letter, then exporter, he sends the quotation. Here, in the receipt of inquiry, it is sent by importer. Here he indicates the product he wants, then price, then quantity, then the quality, then the destination. These are all the things or the info should be added in the inquiry letter or in the inquiry. So, receipt of inquiry is given by the importer, then it is received by the importer, receipt of inquiry. So, after detailed investigation, now exporter sends a quotation. The quotation involves the quantity, then the product, the price of the product, then the size, then all the information. So, he sends now a quotation to the importer. Here exporter, he receives inquiry from the importer, then after studying inquiry product details, now exporter, he sends a quotation. It is called pro forma invoice. Quotation or the pro forma invoice it's given by the exporter to the importer. That is the first step. Second one, the receipt of order or indent. Receipt of order or indent. Here in the first step, the exporter, he sends quotation or pro forma invoice to the importer. If importer is happy with the details given by the or price quoted by the exporter, now importer, he can give the order. This is called receipt of order or indent. It's a second step. I repeat, the first of all, the prospective buyer or importer, he sends the inquiry to the exporter, to different exporter. Now exporters, they send one quotation. The quotation involves, that includes the product name, the product quality, product price and size, all the information about the price. Then they send a quotation to the importer. If importer, if he is happy with the price quoted by the exporter, now importer, he can give the order. So this is called receipt of order or indent. Now the exporter, he receives a order or indent by the importer. The second step. Third one, assessing the creditworthiness of the importers and securing payment. Now order is received, order is given. or is given by the importer to the exporter. Now, immediately after receiving the order, the exporter cannot export product, because now exporter has to study or assess the creditworthiness of the importer. What's the creditworthiness of importer? Creditworthiness of importer means the capacity of the importer to pay the money after exporting the product. That's what we call the creditworthiness of the importer. So, if you have to study the creditworthiness, it means the capacity of the importer to pay the amount after exporting the product or after importing the goods. So, that is the thing, the importer should have the capacity to make the payment after receiving the product. Now, the exporter has studied the creditworthiness of importer, then securing payment is very important. He has to, first of all, before exporting product, the exporter has to make sure that we will get the price, we will get the amount. That is what we call securing the payment. That is what we call third steps under exporter procedure. Now, fourth one, the exporter has to go for export license. After receiving the order, then he studies the creditworthiness of importer. Now, exporter has to get the export license. Export license from Directorate General of Foreign Trade. So, he gets the export license. Before that, he has to open a bank account with any bank that should be approved by RBI. So, opening of bank account, for obtaining of export license, he has to open bank account. Then he has to obtain IEC from DGFT. IEC means import export code from Directorate General of Foreign Trade. The second step, obtaining IEC, import export code. For obtaining export license, first of all, you have to open a bank account, then import export code, then registering with Export Promotion Council. Any one of the Export Promotion Council you have to register with this. Then fourth one, registering with the ECGC. It means Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation. These are all the four steps or we have the four procedures here for getting export license. First one, opening of bank account, obtaining import export code, then registering with any one of the Export Promotion Council, then registering with ECGC, Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation. These are all the four things for obtaining export license. So, it's the fourth one, obtaining export license. Then fifth one, obtaining pre-shipment finance. Now, the exporter, he received or he got export license, then is assessed the creditworthiness of importer, then he asked for pre-shipment finance. So, pre-shipment finance means what? Some part of amount that should be given to the exporter for purchase of raw materials or purchase of component or packaging materials or any what you call preliminary expenses. For conducting that activity, he needs some money. So, he go for pre-shipment finance. He gets some finance or money from the importer's bank, because here we guaranteed the payment. Now, importer's bank, they are ready for letter of credit. This is a guarantee given by the importer's bank. So, here in the fifth step, exporter, he receives some amount. He obtains some pre-shipment finance. That is the fifth one. Okay. Now, sixth one, production or procurement of goods. So, after getting what you call pre-shipment finance, now the exporter has to go for the production or procurement of goods. So sometimes that means either he can himself can produce the product for export purpose, or so he can go for market for procuring the product for export purpose. Sometimes exporter he doesn't have the product in his own manufacturing house, then he can purchase it from the outside the market or from the market. So that is called procurement of goods. So in the fifth one we studied obtaining pre-shipment finance. So receiving of amount before the shipment, so he gets a portion of amount for production purpose. So after getting pre-shipment finance, then the exporter has to go for either for production or for the procurement of goods for export. That is the sixth one. Now seventh one, pre-shipment inspection. Pre-shipment inspection. So here are the seventh one, pre-shipment inspection. The product of export, the goods that is meant for export are subject to inspection. So before exporting any product to any country, the product is subject to inspection. So when it comes to inspection, the product should be inspected by the what do you call export inspection agency. Okay, that is the seventh one. In the sixth one, so we are going to export has to go for producing the product. So after production, then product should be inspected from export inspection agency. So all the goods, whatever the goods that are going to be exported, they should be inspected before exporting. That is the seventh one. Then eighth one, excise clearance. Okay, excise duty is indirect tax, the tax levied on the materials that is used for production in the domestic or in the country. Okay, when you come to excise clearance, excise duty, it is a tax levied on the raw materials which are used for production purpose. But now we don't have excise duty, we have the GST. Okay, so and it is excise duty is replaced by GST or what you call CGST, Central Goods and Service Tax, CGST. Okay, that is the thing. So now we don't have the excise clearance. Earlier we had excise clearance, so now it's replaced by GST. Okay, that is the eighth one. Now what's the meaning of excise clearance? Earlier, the tax levied on the goods or raw materials which are used for production. That's what we call excise clearance, one of the indirect tax. Okay, now ninth one, obtaining certificate of origin. Now the exporter has received the certificate of origin. This is the proof. The certificate of origin is the proof where from the goods is exported or where goods have been actually produced. That's what we call certificate of origin. Okay, so what's the need of certificate of origin? In some countries, okay, some in importing countries, they provide some concession. Okay, for particular country, that's the purpose. The exporter he gets the certificate of origin. Okay, that may be helpful to the importer later. So that's the ninth one, certificate of origin. It's a proof for from where the goods have been originated or exported or produced. That is the ninth one, certificate of origin. Now, so after getting certificate of origin, 10th one, reservation of shipping company. Now exporter has to apply for a ship company for a space. So we need space for export or product. So here we have to mention the nature of product, then how much space we need, then the product, the quality, quantity and size. We have to apply for shipping company. If shipping company accepted our application, then they give the space, they reserve the space for our product for the purpose of export. That is the 10th one, reservation of shipping company. We have to apply it for shipping company. Okay, for the space. Then 11th one, packaging and forwarding. When you come to packaging and forwarding, here packaging for export of any product, we need special packaging, special what you call container. Then after packaging is done, then we have to forward it for the port. We have to make it ready for transportation to send it to the port. That is what you call packaging and forward. So after packaging and forward, we have insurance of goods. Okay, we are carrying the exporting the product by way of sea. That's we have several threat or it may be caused by any peril. Okay, so we should take the insurance policy for protect or safeguard our product. That is the 12th one, insurance of the exported goods. So then 13th one, customs clearance. We have to get the customs clearance from the customs office. Okay, so otherwise if we didn't get the customs clearance, then we can't export it. Any product, that's the 13th one, getting the customs clearance. Then 14th one, obtaining mate receipt. Okay, so after what you call sending goes to the port, we get a mate receipt from the superintendent of a ship. So we get obtaining mate receipt. Then payment of freight and insurance of bill of lading. We have to pay a fee for the ship. It is what we call payment of freight. Then issuance of bill of lading. So after payment of freight, then we get bill of lading. So bill of lading is a proof for goods have been loaded to the ship. That is what we call, so bill of lading. 16th one, preparing the invoice. So after making payment, then issuance of bill of lading, then goods are exported. Now exporter has to prepare the invoice. In this invoice, so before preparing invoice, now exporter has to inform to the importer or arrival of goods. Then he prepares invoice. That invoice should contain all the details of product, the quality, the quantity, then rate, then size, then shipping company number. So all the details should be prepared by the exporter. That is what we call preparing of invoice. Then after the reaching the product to the final destination, now exporter has to make necessary step, what you call procedure for getting the payment. That is the 17th one, securing the payment. These are all the 17 what you call procedures or steps under export procedure. First of all, we should get the what you call receiving of inquiry. Then we have to send the quotation. Then after sending quotation, if export is happy with the quality and price and quantity, then you can give the order. Then you have to go for what you call assessing the creditworthiness of the exporter. Then we should get import export code. Then we should get the pre-shipment finance. So after pre-shipment finance, we should go for export has to go for production or procurement of goods. Then pre-shipment inspection from EIA, export inspection agency. Then we have to clear the excise, but nowadays we have GST. Then 9th one, obtaining certificate of origin. It is a proof for where from goods is exported or where the goods is manufactured. Then we have to apply for shipping company for reservation of space, then packaging and forwarding, the insurance of goods, then customs clearance, then obtaining mate receipt from the superintendent of ship or chief of the ship, then payment of freight and insurance of bill of lading. It is a flow. Bill of lading is a flow for goods actually have been loaded to the ship. Then 16th preparation of invoice. Then 17th one, securing payment. These are the 17 steps under export procedure. This is very important one from the point of view of examination. Okay, you have to go through it all the 17 steps. In next concept also, in the import procedure also we have more than 10 steps. Okay, you need to study well all the steps. Don't go for by hearting. Okay, just understand the concept, then it will be very easy. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you in next class.